All right, welcome back to Real Estate Bites, everybody. This is episode number 89, coming at you on Fridays here at the lunch hour, giving you some information to chew on about the real estate industry. I like to bring some facts, some figures, statistics. I also like to take some time to pull back the curtain on occasion and let you have an inside look at some of the things that go on in the industry. This week, however, I want to talk to you guys about a home warranty. There's a lot of people who don't know what a home warranty is. A lot of people that don't quite understand the concept when I bring it up during consultations. So instead of me just blathering on about you, I wanted to bring on a pro. This is Danny Thorson. He is the sales rep, the territorial rep for Cinch Home Warranty. So right now, please welcome Danny Thorson to Real Estate Bites. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for giving us a forum to discuss a little bit about what home warranties are. I'm sure a lot of people have seen some advertisements, maybe have had some experience with us in real estate transactions, and just exactly what we do and how we fit, and give homeowners a peace of mind.
Yeah, man, I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much for coming on. So that's a great lead in. You know, Danny, after hundreds of transactions under my belt and not quite half of those being buyers,
Sure.
The vast majority of buyers are unaware of the availability of home warranties, what they are, what they cover. So for those out there who are watching this and who will be watching this over the next few days, please tell us, what is a home warranty?
Sure. Well, I like to make things about as simple as you can make them, because I think keeping the main things, the plain things, and the plain things, the main things, right? So I use an acronym we call PEACH. Home warranties cover basically mechanical systems, and the acronym PEACH is perfect because we cover plumbing, we cover electrical, we cover appliances, cooling, and heating. And generally, what we do is we look to repair an appliance, an HVAC, a plumbing issue. We look to repair it, but if we can't, we replace it with like kind. So our company has no age restrictions. What's nice about that is if you have an aging HVAC system and you haven't necessarily allotted the money to replace that, you can get a warranty with us, and we're going to warranty that product to either repair it or replace it. Big ticket items such as HVAC, even appliances now, Jonathan. I mean, washing machines used to be a few $100s. Now they're thousands. They're connected to your the internet system. They're connected to an app. And so refrigerators, washers, dryers, even hot water tanks have gone up considerably in pricing. So these are things that we can hedge. So basically, let's kind of break it down. The plumbing side of it, a home warranty from Cinch Home Warranty Services would look like this. We would cover the perimeter of the house, and we would cover leaky faucets. We would cover any kind of drain stoppage. We would cover garbage disposal, sub pumps. I mean, we've got a lot of spring rain coming. We'll cover sub pumps. And so anything regarding the plumbing in the interior of the house, the four walls, we would cover. Now, we also have ancillary services that will cover you for water and sewer lines in addition to, but I'm really talking about the base plan. Then we go into electrical. In the electrical side, if you turn on a switch and it doesn't work, we're going to cover that. We're going to fix that switch. An outlet could be breakers. And so appliances are kind of self-explanatory. We cover stoves, we cover dishwashers, we cover built-in microwaves, we cover washers and dryers, garage door openers. I don't really see that as an appliance, but we cover most homeowners, home appliances. Okay. And again, the idea is if we can fix it, we're going to fix it. But if we can't, we're going to fix it. We're going to replace it with a kind. And then obviously the big ticket item for us is going to be HVAC. Especially coming off of a winter, it worked. Your HVAC system, your air conditioning system worked in the springtime and into the late fall, but is it going to work in the summer? And we cover the homeowner against any of those kind of things that could be wrong with it. It could be a long winter, and it could have wreaked havoc on the HVAC and heating systems, and we cover that homeowner. So what I like to say, Jonathan, it's peace of mind. These are big ticket items. You may not even know somebody in the industry to call to fix or repair these or replace, in that matter. And so we provide those service providers to help our customers and homeowners in being able to have that peace of mind. A great way to look at it is we are usually tied with the real estate transaction. We are offered as an incentive that the seller will give the buyer, warranting their mechanical systems, but we can be purchased from an existing homeowner if they wish, and provide that coverage.
All right, that's excellent because I was going to ask that question. So anybody, it doesn't have to be tied to a real estate transaction. You've been in your home for 15 years, a home warranty is available to you, and it covers all those things you just mentioned. I want to back up a bit though, Danny. You mentioned something when you were talking about plumbing. You said the perimeter of the house. Please describe that. Define that to me.
Sure. So the perimeter of the house would be bathroom drains, could be sink drains. When I say perimeter of the house, I'm mostly excluding any kind of exterior work we'd have to do, like say, and again, we have coverage for it, but our base plan would cover the interior, any of the exterior digs or blockages in lines. We do cover, but not on our base plan. It has to be some extra coverage. And it's pretty nominal, to be honest with you. Pretty nominal fee.
So when you say interior, you mean basically everything within the walls or
Correct.
Perimeter, everything within the walls.
The perimeter would be more accurate. Absolutely.
Okay. Not because I was thinking exterior drainage, that system around the outside, but that's not covered. That's because that's an incredibly expensive repair. All right. Very good, Danny. I appreciate that. So, pricing, let's get into pricing because you talked about like-kind replacement, but if I'm not mistaken, that is a part of the plus plan and not the base plan, correct?
No, actually, it is our base plan. What we offer, we offer kind of two tracks, if you will, and they're based on if you call us for service, a deductible, and you might want to look at deductibles as being a fee for the service call, so to speak. Okay, so we have a $200 deductible plan and a $100 deductible plan, and let me explain the difference. Zero difference in coverage. It's just every time that you would call a service provider from Cinch Home Warranty Services, that service provider would either collect $200 for his time or $100. Now, why would you choose one over the other? Well, if you're using us for big ticket items, Jonathan, such as HVAC or hot water tanks, or even the refrigerator that goes, perhaps maybe the $200 deductible plan is best for you. And they start at $438. But if you are a very busy homeowner, you don't have time, or perhaps maybe you're not even handy, and you're looking to make sure you place a call to an 800 number and they take care of it, then our $100 deductible plan may be best for you. And that one starts at $538 for the year. Okay. So, basically kind of think of it like this. I had once been told that anything that you plug in or anything that's mechanical or electronic will last between 5 and 7 years. Okay. So if you've got a microwave that's over 7 years, if you've got a dishwasher, it may be time to be thinking about it being towards the end of its useful life. We see furnaces run from about 20 to 25 years, hot water tanks 7 to 10 years. So if you're getting up there in that age, it's time to be thinking about budgeting money for replacement, or taking a product such as ours where we take on that risk and you're paying a nominal fee for us to do so.
Excellent. So what's the difference between your base plan and your plus plan then if they both cover exchange?
Sure. So what happens in our industry, and what's important to understand, is we cover in our plans the labor to put whatever part or replacement, and we cover the parts and or the new unit, whatever that might be. But sometimes there are additional costs. Especially we see that in, for instance, if you have an older home, the new hot water tanks require that, we used to vent them right out the chimney or have these venting systems, that we have now had a new code where you have to provide extra equipment, some fans to evacuate the fumes. And so it requires some alterations to bring them up to code, if you will. Those are items that wouldn't necessarily be covered under your standard plan. So we have a plus plan. On the $200 deductible side, it works out to be $597. On the $100 deductible plan, it works out to be $697. It covers you for $2,000 of non-covered items. So in this scenario where we're talking about the hot water tank, just had a recent hot water tank claim, and it was an $1,800 fee, of which our base plan paid $1,000. but they all had the plus plan, luckily for them, and we covered that additional $800. So there was zero money out of pocket. Okay. You also see them in HVAC. For instance, there are some villages and cities that will require that they have a permit. We don't cover the permitting fee. We don't cover to get rid of the old unit. And we actually hope we get a chance to talk about some of the new refrigerant, because when you are replacing an HVAC or an air conditioning system, you have to evacuate the old system, and we wouldn't necessarily cover that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So are these warranties available for any dwelling type, single family, multifamily, condominiums,
Sure.
townhouses?
Sure.
Okay.
So we do cover single family homes, obviously. We cover condos and townhouses. We cover multi-unit housing, but only two families. When it gets to
Okay.
3 and 4 family, we do not cover those, and we do not cover commercial property as well. So it'd just be residential. But what's kind of nice too is you don't have to live in the property that we cover. So, for instance, if some of your viewers have non-owner occupied property, rental properties, or they're covering a house for maybe an elderly parent, you can get a warranty for them, and you don't have to live there. So we will cover that property without them living there. Okay.
That's excellent. So folks, if you're out there and you're listening, think of how many mechanical systems you have in your home right now. All the appliances, refrigerator, dishwasher, oven, microwave. You cover microwaves?
We do, but they have to be
Okay.
built in.
Built-in microwaves. You've got a washer and dryer. You've got a whole electrical system, a plumbing system. You've got a furnace, an air conditioning, right? All of these things are covered for between $500, $700 a year, and the deductible is between $100 and $200 to have somebody come out. So instead of having to cough up $3,000 to replace that beautiful new fridge you bought 4 years ago, and it's out of manufacturer warranty and it just failed, you can take advantage of this home warranty and get that refrigerator replaced. It's incredible for homeowners, for real estate investors, up to doubles, an incredible product. So you mentioned the coolant earlier. I know that there were a couple things that you wanted to talk about before we parted ways, Danny. So what additional information did you have for homeowners who might be considering a warranty, or just this is information they need to know?
Sure. So probably there isn't anybody, unless you've crawled under a rock, that hasn't seen the latest tariff debates and conversations. And what that really means to us as consumers, as replacement parts and even replacement units, washers, dryers, furnaces, air conditioning units, are probably going to go up in cost. A lot of our box stores, Home Depot and Lowe's, provide a product, Samsung or LG. These are all made overseas, and therefore the parts for these are made overseas. Tariffs are going to rise the cost of repairing these particular units. Your warranty is going to absorb that tariff price adjustment, because we offer that plan, and it is us that supplies the parts. So that's something to think about going forward. Again, think about how old the appliances that you're looking to cover are. Are they 7 or 8 or 9, 10 years old? And just as a tip, products like LG and Samsung basically make parts for their units between 7 and 8 years. Afterwards, they do not. So if you do have one of those appliances and it's getting up there in cost, it probably isn't going to be able to be repaired. It'll have to be replaced. So that's something to keep in mind. Also, if you've been in the news and you've read about the new refrigerant, this is sort of an EPA mandate, greenhouse gases. We saw this in 2010, where there was the refrigerant for air conditioning units was called R22. In 2010, they required that no new unit be supplied with R22. And basically, it took to about 2020 for them to make it sort of illegal to produce R22. So we were able to recharge those units for that 10 years. But from this point on, any unit with R22, it's sort of supply and demand, whatever was made in 2020. Well, we have that same kind of mandate for the replacement of R22, which was 410A. So all units prior to January of 2025 were made with 410A. Now, again, we have plenty of supplies. Cinch is going to be able to recharge those units. You're going to be able to probably have your provider recharge your units, but for how long? The new units will have this new R454, and the whole idea is they want, by I think it's 2030 for us to eliminate the greenhouse gas effect of our HVAC systems. And that's why they're doing this. But just be aware that there's a new refrigerant. Also understand, as of today, we have plenty. But as we keep going on, that supplies will start to diminish, and you'll want to consider that.
Excellent. That is great information, Danny. Listen, we're going to wrap up here. I really appreciate you coming on Real Estate Bites and rapping with me for a minute about these things. A home warranty is something that I think most homeowners should consider. I mean, if you're talking about spending $500 to $700 a year on a plan that covers all of those mechanical systems, with the knowledge that, I mean, I don't know, what appliance can you get for $500 anymore that you actually want to have in your home? You know, it's something that I think is worth consideration. So, Danny, thanks again for coming on and giving us that knowledge. And hey, man, have a great weekend.
You do the same. And keep in mind, we're giving peace of mind. We're betting that unit's going to fail. Or you're betting that unit's going to fail. We're betting it's going to last forever. One of us is right. Hopefully it's you. So
real quick before you go, Danny, give us that PEACH acronym again and what it stands for.
Absolutely. PEACH, as P for plumbing, E for electrical, A for appliances, and C and H for cooling and heating.
Excellent. And that's what you guys cover. Hey, thanks again, Danny. You have a great weekend, Mr. Thorson. I appreciate you once again.
Have a great time. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. That was Mr. Danny Thorson of Cinch Home Family Services. I forgot to put his banner up, but if you're interested, take a look. This is Danny's information. If you want have a further conversation or get a little more detail about a home warranty, this right here is how you can connect with Danny. So now I'm going to leave this up while we move into our statistics section. Sorry, Danny, I didn't get that up earlier. I get one-track mind and forget about these things. But at any rate, here we go. So let me share my screen here. And we're going to look at statistics for home sales in the last week here in Lorain County. So I haven't done this in a while. Let me tell you where I get these stats from. These are pulled directly from the MLS. And again, they are only for Lorain County. I use Lorain County as a sample size for what's going on, not just in this part of the state, but this part of the country. I think it's pretty applicable to the entire Midwest. Things change a bit when you get out to the coasts, but through the middle part of the country, I think Lorain County offers a fantastic sample size about what's going on. I do not use multifamily, so no doubles, triples, quads are up, and I do not look at mobile homes. So this is simply condos and single families. All right. This morning, there were 400 condos and single family homes available in Lorain County for sale. Those are active on the market. And as you can see, inventory it's ramping up into the selling season. So are the sales. We had 80 closings last week in Lorain County. The median square feet of those closings was 1,778 square feet. Median home sale price was $259,000. Median square foot value was $157.47. You can see that is a significant drop from weeks prior, and we haven't seen $157 since the end of January. Okay, so it's been up for quite a while. And listen, guys, even though we took this $14 dip correction in median square foot value, which is the metric that I've been using to see what's going on with home prices, I expect that median square foot value to bounce back up to where it's been in the mid to high 160s typically. Median days on market is 14. I mean, guys, that's nothing. That's houses going up on the market and going under contract immediately, because once again, this 14 days represents the house going up onto the market, starting to show, receiving offers, getting under contract, and then that contract passing through its contingency phase before it officially comes off the market as a pending home sale. Okay. We use median home values because we want to get rid of outliers, right? So you could there was a $20,000 sale that probably could have skewed an average, right? Or when you have, like last week was 2 weeks ago, $1.4 million. There aren't that many $1.4 million homes around here, guys. So that is not a typical home sale. That's a big boy. Okay. That was a church on a big complex in a church in Avon Lake. So that would skew a value. So that's why we use median versus averages. Okay, this morning, the rate on a conventional 30-year note was 6.83%. A little bit of relief, but you can see that this interest rate has really sort of stabilized around 6.75 for quite some time now, going back towards the end of middle of February. We've been bouncing around there. So interest rates are staying right steady, 6.25, 6.75, 6.8, 6.85. And then finally, the big sale of last week was $950,000 in Avon. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. This beautiful home here, what we got, this was built in 2021, 4-bed, 5.5 bath, 5,300 square feet. That, of course, includes the finished basement. Whenever realtor grabs information, our MLS asks for finished square foot above level and finished square foot below level, and then these realtors and Zillows aggregate that all as a legitimate living space. If you do not have a second means of egress to the exterior, like an egress window or a staircase leading directly outside, you're not supposed to be able to include that, even if it's finished, underground square footage in your living space. But when you look at homes on Zillow and Realtor, and the numbers don't quite jive with what you see on the MLS or what you see, say, in the county auditor's report, that is why. If they're larger on Zillow or Realtor than what you're finding on an auditor's report, it's because they are aggregating the information that our MLS asks for. Nevertheless, let's take a look at these pictures. What a beautiful kitchen. You know, I love this style. I love how the hood is separated from the cabinets, and you've got your backsplash that wraps up and around it. Just an absolutely beautiful home here. This is east of Lear. This is the eastern portion of Redtail, is where you'll find this $950,000 beauty. Another thing I love about this place is all of the natural light that you find in the living spaces, whether it's the dining room, the bedrooms. They just have tons of windows and tons of natural light coming in. As you would expect at $950,000 in Redtail, the house is gorgeous, right? Accent walls, you see the tongue and groove, you see the accent walls here. The shiplap, rather, not tongue and groove. So another beautiful home sold in Redtail. There's been at least a half dozen since I started doing this, half dozen homes in Redtail that made it on our top sale of the week list. And here's another fine example. Gorgeous home. I don't know if they had it staged. If they didn't, I mean, it looks like it was staged professionally. I could say that. You know, there's absolutely no clutter. There's nothing personal on the wall. I mean, look at the books, right? Who has books that look like that, right? No one's bookshelves are that tidy. You know, this definitely looks professionally staged. And so if you like the way that this lays out and the way that it shows in these pictures, and obviously would show when you walk through, that's the benefit of using professional staging to make your home look as sharp as it possibly can. It highlights the space, highlights the architectural features. So yes, indeed, another gorgeous home in Redtail is our top sale of the week. Thank you guys for joining me. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of one another. I love you, people. I'll see you next week.